Hello, everybody, and welcome to this 5 minute update, which will last 15 minutes from the LFC Daytrippers. When we named this show, we said, call it a 5 minute show, lads, and then we realised that we talk way too much and it always lasts 15. But 15 is our limit, I think, for tonight. And I'm joined by Grizz because there's been a bit of, there's been a lot of news today, or a lot of kind of, not links, but a lot of, stuff coming out through activity. That's the word I was looking for, Grizz. Thanks. A flurry of activity, I suppose you could say. And look, we wanted to come on. We have got a brilliant show lined up for you at 10 o'clock. I'll let you know all about that in a few minutes. But we wanted to come on because there is a bit of activity. It looks like a lot of outgoing activity, which is something that Liverpool and Liverpool fans have been looking for over the last couple of days or so. And Grizz, I just want to go through a couple of names. Harry Wilson is the first one. We've talked about him on this show a lot for the last couple of weeks anyway, since the lads went away on their pre-season tour or their training camp. And it looks like there might be a little bit of movement on Harry Wilson, finally.
Yeah, basically we've been waiting for sort of these so-called dominoes to sort of fall into place and, puzzle pieces fall into place. Well, there seems to be a flurry of activity today at Millwall in terms of, and 90%, most of it, all in terms of outgoings. Harry Wilson is the subject of a few clubs' interest, but it seems it's down to two clubs from the information I received today. And those two clubs are Aston Villa and Leeds, who have made substantial bids. Now, substantial in this climate. Obviously, it's not as substantial as normal climate, but I understand them to be 15 million. But I also understand he prefers the Leeds move. That's apparently further down the line than the Aston Villa one. Leeds put in a bid first. Aston Villa have matched it, but he's had talks with Leeds. I'm led to believe.
And just on the fee, you're thinking, or it's been, put out there 15 million. We spoke, didn't we, on what would have been Tuesday night, I think, when I was on the transfer show, and we were talking about Harry Wilson, and we were saying 23 million if Bournemouth had stayed up. That's obviously not happened. We thought maybe if you take 20% off, you're at 18, and we kind of came in around 15, maybe 15 plus add-ons. So 15 seems to be the number now, and I think that'd be acceptable to Liverpool now, and a good deal for Leeds or an Aston Villa.
You'd guess, isn't it? I'm firmly of the belief that we're going to start accepting next week. I don't think we've accepted it yet, from what I've been told, but we haven't sort of told them to go away. So it's positive in terms of at least we have movement. We were getting worried, like, why is no one making any bids for us? Come on, we've got, some decent players like you wanted last season. What's happened now? But we know what's happened. It's the COVID situation. But yeah, that looks like a goer to me. I think 15 million, and then if they can chuck in a few million add-ons, I think they have a deal of us probably. As I said, there's at the same time when I tweeted that, loads of people told me that Aston Villa have or preparing a bid in the same amount for Rashika, who we were interested in. From the German team, someone's going to put it in the notes, I can't remember, but he was supposed to go to Leipzig, but that fell through, and we were interested in him as well, apparently. So Aston Villa have put a couple of bids out there. One of them is Wilson, but apparently the lad himself prefers Leeds, and that's understandable. Who wouldn't want to play under this mad manager Bielsa? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, I'm a bit wary of Aston Villa with all the spending they done last year, and it looks like they're trying to do a little bit more again this year. And they weren't good. They were fortunate to stay up, probably. So Leeds, even though they're coming off from the Championship, I think have a slightly brighter outlook than Aston Villa, I think. Simply because one is, as you just said, the manager they have he's excellent. So we'll have to wait and see on that. The next one is
couple of lads, sorry, in the chat, including our own Keith Plunkett, tells me Rashika's from Werder Bremen, and that's correct. Werder Bremen's the club that Aston Villa apparently are also putting a bid for a similar type to Wilson. He's a winger, plays on either side. So yeah, that's one to keep an eye on from Liverpool point of view.
Okay, so Villa throwing money out and seeing who will buy. Yeah, which is fair enough, but they're making themselves a little bit open, I think, by doing so, but that's their own prerogative. Marco Grujic, Grizz, we've spoken about him at length as well, and, he was linked with Atletico Madrid, I think it was, going back last year, 30 million, and it didn't happen, and he ended up staying in Germany for his second season at Hertha Berlin. He's back at Liverpool now, and it's quite obvious Liverpool are trying to get rid. Now, even with the 25 or 30 million that was rumoured, it might have been euros actually, to Atletico Madrid last year, we, again, speaking about him, we thought 15 million and he's anybody's. And it looks like Borussia and Mönchengladbach have arrived on the scene. And is it 14 million that the bid is there on that?
Yeah, so West Ham put in an awful bid for him a few days ago. I was told it's about sort of in the 9 to 10 million mark. But today, Borussia Mönchengladbach have come in for Grujic at 14 million, which is better. We're getting closer to our valuation. I'm not sure, Gav. Maybe I think we can hold out a little bit more for Grujic. Just my personal opinion. Maybe we can sort of hold out for about the 18 to 20 million mark. I mean, maybe I think there's enough interest to keep it going. That one going, I think.
But the only thing I would say is, Grizz, is that while we've spoke about, getting rid of players and the prices you may get, the big talk was, between us all, was it's a game of chess, and it's actually moving bodies, and finances probably come in behind the actual need to move bodies. And I think moving Grujic out as a non-homegrown player, moving him out of the squad and giving yourself a space for the person that we think we're all going to sign, I think that may take preference over whether it be 3 or 4 million quid. I think 14 million, I think it's very fair for Marco Grujic, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know you do, but you see, I come from a sort of a business background, and
You're just miserable.
I'm going to carry on looking for more as much as I can. I think, and as I said, I think we can squeeze another team for maybe a few million out of Grujic, and again, if they throw in sort of like another couple of million, that probably will be accepted as well. But it's movement, and as you said, it's another movement in the right direction in terms of players that are not going to have a career with us. It's the circle. It's in motion. The sort of the circle, the domino effect is in place. I think from next week, where we start accepting a lot of these bids and we start hearing about a lot of these outgoings.
Coney, our Manchester United supporting friend, is in the chat, and we love to see that. And he's asking, have we signed Thiago yet? We're signing Thiago when Euroloss signed Sancho, which has been imminent for about 8 weeks now. I've never known imminent to last so long. But you're welcome, Coney. Stay there and join us at 10 o'clock when we talk all things Premier League. Epic Ledger says, we're not selling Karius, ? And somebody else says, Karius needs to get rid of that Instagram. No, he doesn't. The Instagram video we done was on holiday. He'd every right to do it, and it was an amazing video. It was produced amazingly, and I'll always back him on that one. And I know Grizz is fuming because I've said that. But Karius, Grizz, there was
talk. Someone asked about segue into Karius.
It was one of those where Keith was talking about just rip up the contract. I think Andy even said we could rip up a contract. I think he'd refused a couple of loan deals, but it looks like there's a bid in now as well for him.
We've had loads of loan offers for him, but we're not interested in loan at all for handsome Karius. And today we've had a bid from, I didn't get the name of the team. It's definitely a German team, and the bid is for 2.5 million. Again, many would say, wow, we can get more, but can we really? Can we possibly get more than 3-4 million for him? I'm not sure. Again, I haven't got information on the team yet. I will try to by Sunday, hopefully. But yeah, so 2.5 million for Karius. Do we take that? We know he hasn't got a career at Liverpool. We know we don't want to put him out on loan. Do we just take the 2.5 million? I don't know. Let's see. Time will tell. But again, it's another foreign player that helps sort of life generally for the setup of the squad. And so maybe we accept it and get rid, as Raheem says.
Yeah.
On the board there.
Listen, I think it's one of those where if we get 2.5 million after signing them for 4 million 4 years ago, I think we just take it and we cut our losses. I think that's absolutely fine. But the main thing is here we're looking at some sort of traction in the market where we can get rid of a couple of players, reduce the number in the squad in order to bring others in, and I think that's the way it is. It's numbers, and the finances will take a back seat. That's just my opinion. People can hit me with that. Don't at me. There's no problem, no point. I don't have a Twitter account, but two more things before we go, Grizz, because we've 4 minutes left, right? Because we promised ourselves 15 minutes. But the interesting comments from Klopp today with regards to Raheem Brewster. He was asked about him. It was a case of no decisions being made. There's an awful lot of stuff going on. He's a fantastic player, fantastic guy. He spoke Brewster up quite a lot, and then he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. He didn't say he'd be sold. He didn't say he'd be loaned, but he didn't say he'd be kept. He sat on the fence quite a bit, but he spoke the young lad up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but I can tell all the viewers and listeners Brewster's off. Brewster is off. The only decision that's left is whether it's going to be a loan or permanent sale. If it's going to be a permanent sale, we are going to insist on a buyback or sell-on clause. And from the information I've been told from my source, he's been told it's actually, it's another situation like Ginny where he's going to leave it to Brewster. He's going to decide on Brewster, like, look, if you want to go, the situation that is that if we get any cash bid around the 25 million mark, he will be sold. I'm of the opinion that he will be sold if we get anything remotely that. If we don't, then he will definitely be leaving on loan. So I know he spoke highly of him and he does, but the information I've got is Brewster won't be at LFC come end of window.
Okay.
Which is a shame. We've discussed all the pros and cons, but that's the information I've got today that's finally done in terms of he's going to go.
Yeah, God_AEM says managers would speak up players if they're keeping or selling to generate more interest. The reason I'm saying, the reason I brought up talking him up, I should say, not speaking him up, talking him up. It's been a long day. The reason I'm saying that is because when he was asked about Wijnaldum last week, he was quite cold on Wijnaldum. And it was kind of, he's had a good couple of seasons for us, and it was kind of very vanilla on Wijnaldum, where today I thought he was much warmer towards Brewster, so a couple of people feel, Epic Ledger says that Brewster is our future, Toiso says Brewster's a future boy, he ain't being sold. People think different, and the word coming out is that it looks like it could be a loan or something permanent. I'm against it. I think I'd love to keep him in the squad for the year. 2 minutes to go, Grizz. Daku being linked there. That's something I'd like to leave for Sunday night and have a big chat about.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's much chat about it. There's absolutely no contact with his club. There's no interest. There's no firm interest in Daku. We scouted him. He's one of the guys that we've inquired about. But there was rumours today about Daku, and we're preparing a bid or something. It's not that advanced at all.
Yeah. Okay. Last one, Grizz. Thiago Alcantara back in training at Bayern. Stuff has come out over the last couple of days that Liverpool have put in a bid. It's closer to what Bayern are looking for. He is back in training with Bayern, which I'm not surprised by. That Bayern aren't going to leave him out of training to weaken their hand, I suppose. What do you reckon on this one?
Just a quick one. I know we're running out of time. Yeah, I know we're running out of time. Just a quick one. We haven't made an improved bid for Thiago. That's not true. We've made a bid for Thiago. We're sticking with that bid. It's only a few million away from what they originally wanted, which is the same. They haven't asked for more as well. I know there were some stories. They want 30 million euro. We've bid 24 million euros. And that's how it is at the moment. Thiago's fine. He's a top professional. He's gone back to his club to train as per normal. There's no issues there. He knows where he stands. Bayern know where he stands. He's told his agency have told Bayern, look, I'm only going to Liverpool. Stop trying to make this a circus. I'm only going to Liverpool, so you might as well accept the bid. Bayern have said, give it a few days. Let us sort out our priority, our replacement for you, and we'll go back to Liverpool and deal with Liverpool. So look out for Bayern's replacement for Thiago. Soon as that's announced or said or closed, then this deal will be concluded as well. Thiago will definitely be a Liverpool FC player, like we've said from our first show 6-8 weeks ago.
Okay, we're now 10 seconds over. I don't think we get fined because we wouldn't fine ourselves, would we? But that has been a short 15 minutes and 17-second 5-minute show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Join us at in 15 minutes time at 10 p.m. where our new show for this Friday night, for Friday nights this season starts. It's the Friday forecast, and it's myself, it's Keith, it's Joe from All Leeds TV, and it's Harry from Chronicles of a Gooner. Going to look at Liverpool v Leeds. We're going to look at the Premier League as a whole, and we're just going to have a good time for about an hour or so. So join us there, subscribe, like, do all that. See you in a little bit. Over and out.